On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains.
Coming to you straight from San Diego, California. Let's welcome our host, April Mahoney.
Hello, Brains, and welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney. Here, this is the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Today is going to be a special edition of On the Edge. We are hosting Ann Landstrom of Ann's Photography. She is a photographer extraordinaire when it comes to branding, when it comes to family portraits, or boudoir. Ann has been in the industry for so many years, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about her experience. But what we're doing is we're playing with these backdrops back here. Now, I'm going to try to be as still as possible because to get the best image and resolution on these backdrops, you really kind of need a green screen because you'll see a lot of people doing all this, and you see all that wobbly, and it really doesn't reflect what you're trying to say, and it's also very distracting. So I'm going to try to be still, but I wanted to let you know and let you see what is the cutting edge, because everybody's working from home now and they're trying to do it from their home office, or they're trying to do it from their den or their bedroom. And it really sometimes is distracting, and it takes away from your messaging because people are looking at all the junk that you got in the background. So this is a way to really enhance your brand, keep people's eyes focused on what you're doing, and give you, the best image possible when it comes to marketing your business. So, Ann, please tell my brains a little bit about you and this technology.
Hi, Brains. I'm Ann. I am an award-winning master photographer with a studio in Carlsbad. Due to the COVID-19 situation, I had to shut my business down. And I sat online and did a lot of webinars and Zoominars and crazinars sometimes. And I noticed that there was something missing. And that was nobody was on brand or represented their business. Or I didn't know when you're on these Zooms, and sometimes you have 3 people and sometimes there's 300 people. So most people look like this. And if you're going to represent and be on a business call, you're not really representing your business in a professional way. And number one, a lot of people, work from home. And number 2, they didn't have the right lighting, the right angle on the camera, the right clothing a lot of times too, because you're still, when you're on these calls, you're still representing yourself and your business. So you have to kind of think about how you show up in one thing is that how you show up in everything. And so I first made one for myself, and this was the one that I made to represent my photography, and with my clients behind me. And then people started like, wow, that is really cool. How do I get one like that? And I go, well, I started this business called Brand My Zoom. So I can brand your Zoom for you. So I started to do this for clients in different ways. I'll show you some examples. Which, would you prefer? Would you prefer having this behind you representing your business, or your couch with your son walking behind? And so that's how my Brand My Zoom business kind of came across, from just sitting on calls like this, looking at people and saying, hey,
Right.
I don't know what anybody's doing. I mean, I don't know what business they're in, and you really have right now an opportunity when you're on these calls to come up and if you have a webinar, you have a book coming out, you're an artist. This man is a world-renowned international artist. To show your art off behind you, you can, like, this is my virtual backdrop for my business brand. When I'm on a big call with a lot of people, I have this behind me, which says what I'm doing. I'm branding my Zoom, and my website is right underneath it, so people can go underneath there.
And I love it. But again, you'll see people that are using these virtual backdrops, and it can be very distracting, And so I love how yours is very clean. And so she's going to walk you through that. in addition to that, she's going to take some excellent photos and really give you an opportunity to announce to the world who you are on a consistent basis. And visuals are everything, Brains. People want to know who you are. They don't have to ask. They don't have to wonder because you're there. Now, Ann, how did you get started in photography? Because not only are you a photographer, and I want to, pay you a great compliment, but you're also an innovator. I've never just seen you sit back and say, oh, okay, well, COVID-19 and people aren't able to come into my studio, so I'm going to sit here and pout. You always come up with something innovative, new, and rich, but also using your photography. Tell us, a little bit about where that ingenuity comes from.
I have constantly a traffic jam in my head of ideas. I guess a starter.
Brain, baby, because you're a brain.
Right? I'm a starter, and a lot of them doesn't get finished. But there's always new ideas. I mean, I have 3 or 4 ideas that is non-photography related that I'm working on right now that could be something going forward, because we're going to don't want to touch things, and there's one big idea that I'm working on for that. But yeah, I love photography. I started in photography 20 something years ago, and it was thanks to my father, who still is alive at 87, told me to send home pictures to Sweden. So my family's from Sweden. I moved here when I was 21. And I kept sending home pictures all the time, just to show where I lived. And this was, of course, before digital. So there were pictures that I shot and printed and put in the snail mail and send over. And so he said, just why don't you go and get yourself in a photography class? You're really good at this, and see if you can make some money. And I did, and never looked back. I just fell in love with it. And I've been more or less photographing people now for like 20 something years. You
just haven't just been photographing just people, just anybody. You have really been photographing some of the movers and shakers all over the world. I see, there's our girl Lisa, Lisa Nichols and Les Brown. And who are some of the other people that you've been able to capture on film?
I have in the pink outfit is Maury Smith. She's they call her the Facebook queen. She travels all over the world and teaches everybody in big, large businesses about Facebook and Instagram, what's going on. And Susie Carter, who is next to Les Brown, is a business and profit coach. She used to be Lisa Nichols' partner and took Lisa Nichols' company from $70,000 a year up to a multi-million-dollar company and also a public company. She's a brilliant businesswoman that used to be actual hairdresser and just completely took a different direction. Yeah.
And then also you have an amazing gift of helping women that have struggled with abuse or low self-esteem by capturing a different side of them and a different essence with your boudoir photos. Can you tell us a little bit about, the thought process behind that and what you reveal to people that have never seen themselves that way?
Yeah. It all backtracks up to 2011 when I went through a horrific divorce and ended up homeless with my 6-year-old at the time. And eventually, I was very beat down, broken really in all aspects of life, and suicidal and all that. And I eventually figured that the only one who's going to rescue me is myself. And I started looking for jobs and found a job in a boudoir studio. You're going to make me laugh.
Woo! Boudoir, see, make your head spin, Brains.
But anyway, so I stumbled on a boudoir job for a photography studio in Carlsbad, and I thought, well, who the heck would want to have all these pictures of themselves in their lingerie? And little did I know that was going to change my life. I found my true purpose, and I realized how much it was actually, the least was about the images. It was more about the experience and tapping into your feminine essence as a woman that all of us or most of us forget about, and sometimes has never even seen ourselves. So it was more like a therapy session than it was about the photography. And I just fell in love with the form, and I saw how much what it did. I mean, how women would come in and feel not very good about themselves and walk out of there very much, self-esteem boosted and felt beautiful, and they actually start loving themselves through that whole process. So,
and even Lisa will give a testimony to that, and she's fine and fabulous, and she's been through it. Okay, she's had weight loss, and medical issues, self-esteem, all of that going on. But when Ann snapped her boudoir pictures, Lisa will tell you that she couldn't believe the woman that she found.
Yeah, it's I don't know, and I still don't have an explanation what it is when we take our clothes off and being exposed in that matter. I think it is we peel all the layers like an onion, right? We peel it all off, all the social mask, everything that we have, that we actually have to accept who we are right now, but not how we used to look like at age 25, or how we want to look like 25 pounds lighter, or 50 or 10, whatever it is. We always beat ourselves up for how we want to look like. So the whole experience is really about loving yourself for who you are right now. And right now I'm doing a campaign called 40 over 40, where I'm photographing 40 women in lingerie over 40, and they're also telling their stories. So how this works is I'm doing a Zoom just like we are doing right now, and they get to tell whatever they've been through in life, just so they can maybe help and inspire somebody else along the road that has been through something, or in the middle of it, or know somebody that has been through this. And believe me, there's a lot of stories, and we all have one, big or small. And once you release that story and share it, it's a relief, and you have no idea how your story is going to help somebody else.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, like you said, it's like an onion, and you keep pulling back the layers, okay? But and it's all organic, it's not scripted, and you're vulnerable, and your vulnerability makes you cry, and you finally look at yourself. I mean, how many of us women get naked and look in the mirror and can't wait to put some clothes on, or can't bear to look at the weight that we've gained, or the scars that we've acquired, or the discoloration of our skin, or moles, or whatever. But you know what, baby, it is what it is. And you have to love that, because that is who you are. And if there's scars, that's because there's been wounds and you had to heal. If there's weight, that means you didn't have too much hors d'oeuvres or champagne. If there's not enough weight, maybe you've been stressed out and you lost a lot of weight. But whatever it is, you need to look at it, and you need to identify, and you need to love who that is and what that is. And you do a great job at that. So tell us about some other things that you see on the horizon coming up for you, or even some suggestions for people out there in the photography world, because I know it's rough. They're really worried about, when am I going to be able to touch people again to take those portraits? Where do you think they should go? What do you think they should do or think about?
Well, for the photographers out there, I really think you can go outside and really practicing the social distancing and still get very good. You can still get very good pictures outside, the right lighting conditions and the right lenses. And so that's another option, rather than being in the studio. And I think clients maybe feel more comfortable being outside and coming in the studio. I have taken big, following the CDC and everything else, and wiping down everything more than usual, steaming everything over and over with hot steam to, get anything out. And makeup artists and I are wearing masks and, hand sanitizer, whatever you can do to help make everybody comfortable and everybody stay healthy. In the end, we don't know where we're going to pick this up. If it's going to be at the door handle, touching something. I mean, you can do anything you can, but then still, it's difficult to control, obviously, the virus, right? But
So the best thing is, to use other options as backdrops. Parks. We can go back to the beach because there was a point there we couldn't go to the beach. And you were doing some beautiful work with women, really freelancing and doing some beautiful stuff on the beaches. There's a lot of other options out there. So it's not doom and gloom. It's going to get better. People still need, again, photographs. And again, this is great. This is innovative. Have the right equipment, a green screen or a nice, like you said, a green sheet behind you can really kind of help all this.
Yeah.
And Brains, I say this with love. Don't try to use the virtual backdrops if you look at how crazy I look right now. They took my afro away. But don't try to do this technology if you don't have the right equipment, because it becomes distracting. And if it's distracting, that really takes away from your message. You can just go back to the basic backdrop that you have. But if you are looking to level up, if you really have a business that needs to be featured, if you have a product, if you have a book, if you have a band, whatever it is that you're trying to promote there in the background and the backdrop, by all means, don't get your afro taken away. But use the best technology that there is, and Ann Landstrom is the person to contact. Tell them a little bit about how to get in contact with you, Ann, and if you have any special offers or promotions that you're running right now.
Well, first you can find me at Ann Photography. That's ANN photography.com. My phone number is 760-610-6263. I am running the promotion on the 40 over 40 campaign. I'm still looking for women over 40 that like to participate in this project. And I really encourage, because it's so much more than images. It's number one, being part of a project that I'm hoping is going to go, what's the word? Not global, but I'm trying to start a movement for women, right, to accepting themselves in the way they are. So that's one thing. And come and check out my virtual backdrops. They're on my website. You can go to brandmyzoom.com or amphotography.com and check this out. And this is how my backdrop actually looks. This is what a green screen looks like when you just put it up. It's just a plane. You want to make sure it covers your whole area, and otherwise you will get the ghosting like you see behind April, and with the green screen you don't have that. So my hand, you don't. I don't get when I move around, I don't get the ghosting. So
why is that though? Why do you get the ghosting? What is that?
It has to do with the green screen, with the backdrop. It's the green or the blue that does something, so you don't get it. It's technology that I don't understand, but that's how.
Stabilizer. I kind of get that.
Yeah. And,
awful. But thank you so much for popping in. And again, Brains, we want to show you what's new and innovative, give you some options, some techniques on leveling up, promoting your brand, getting it visible, and, finding beauty wherever you can, and also keeping your hustle long and strong. And we're going to put all your information down at the bottom. Thank you so much for coming here on The Edge. I can't wait to hug you up and see you and have a glass of champagne. I adore you.
I adore you. Love you, April. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, Brains.
Bye.